Hi, my name is Jessica. I studied anthropology and political science at Birmingham and I graduated that in 2017. And then I did my master's in international relations and gender, and I graduated from that in 2018. And I now work as a consultant at UN Women in New York. So after I graduated, I started off in a role in London as a international relations stakeholder assistant for sort of a government department agency. But I was then offered an internship the gender focal point at the Special Tribunal for Lebanon, which is a international criminal court in The Hague. So I was there for a few months. And then after that internship, I was offered an internship at UN Women in New York. And so from there, I went to New York and I was there for a few months. And then I was lucky enough to be offered a consultancy off my internship. So now that's where I've ended up. So I'm now doing my consultancy at UN Women. So it went sort of from an internship to a consultancy. So my day-to-day job, I'm in the Intergovernmental Support Division of UN Women. So our job mainly is to interact with member states and provide them we do a lot of language proposals on gender. So say there's a big UN meeting, we'll go and we'll help them, provide them like in areas where they can add in gendered language and sort of make the, say, documents, resolutions more gendered and make sure that there's always a gender angle in all of the sort of the big UN work. We cover a lot of meetings. So we go to a lot of for example, I think in September, I was going to the UN High Level Week. So we went there and we sort of monitored how different member states were paying attention to gender and women's issues and gender equality. And we sort of rank them and then do lots of gender analysis based on how people are discussing gender and where there's areas of weakness and where there's strength and what areas people are focusing on. I think the biggest thing that I love about what I do is just it's a very intense job and sometimes it's very long hours, but it's always rewarding. You always know that what you're doing is somehow helping people and somehow progressing sort of towards that goal of like gender equality. So it's that side of things that although it can be difficult and it can be tough, you always know that you're working for something greater and something better. A few things that helped me in terms of my degree and like where I am now. For example, during my undergrad dissertation in anthropology, I did it on female Indian migrants coming to the UK and sort of their perspective as like domestic workers coming to the UK. And through that, I had to do a lot of interviewing. So I think I developed skills in terms of interviewing and like speaking to people and trying to get like sort of people's stories out of them. So I think it helped in terms of that and getting to know how to really speak to people and get more like in depth into conversations with people. So I think that really helped. As well, in my job, every year we do a Secretary General's report on gender equality in like UN resolutions. So it's like a gender analysis of UN resolutions, and it's a lot of quantitative and qualitative work, which I had to do a lot of, particularly in my master's dissertation where I did a media analysis. So those skills in the media analysis helped a lot in terms of researching the research that I now do. So that was really helpful because I developed those quantitative and qualitative skills as well, which is great. And yeah, I think definitely the dissertations really hone in on your research skills and your ability to like deal with large amounts of data and reading, which is a lot of what I have to do as well, a lot of quick reading through like big documents and things. So that really helped. And I also think in terms of I think it's important to just take as many opportunities as you can, sort of take everything that's offered to you if you can. And it's best like just to build, for example, I did a lot of volunteering during my time at university. I volunteered with Crisis, and I think that really helps, just getting as much experience in your CV as possible, doing volunteering, like, because it obviously helps in terms of that area of like international development and international relations. I also think, yeah, just taking as many opportunities as you can and trying to network as much as possible, speaking to people that you know that are in the similar field, even just reaching out to people on LinkedIn and things is very helpful. Just, yeah, networking as much as possible and just getting as much information from as many people as possible in terms of like where there's good opportunities, where's a good place to look into working. I think that really helps.